While we wait for concrete answers from the contract recognition board regarding Oscar Piastri's contract and thus which seats will be available in 2023, some surprising news has emerged from the Red Bull camp of all places. It has to do with the Frenchman Pierre Gasly, who, not for the first time in his career, appears to be standing on thin ice. And with that comes the possibility of Gasly teaming up with Esteban Ocon to form a fully French lineup in the French Alpine team. So, let's take a look at the possibility of Gasly driving for Alpine next year, why it would be hampered by his rocky relationship with Ocon, and why Red Bull is looking to let him go in the first place. In an even more surprising development, IndyCar driver Colton Herta has been linked with a future position at AlphaTauri, Red Bull's sister team. Alpine team boss Otmar Szafnauer has publicly stated that the Enstone team will not consider other drivers until the contract recognition board decides the Oscar Piastri case. However, according to sources, Alpine has already expressed interest in Gasly to Red Bull. The Frenchman was confirmed for 2023 by AlphaTauri on June 24th, so any move to get him will have to include a deal that suits Red Bull as well as a sizable payment. While he is obviously regarded as an important member of AlphaTauri, the bigger picture is that the Faenza team is supposed to provide future Red Bull racing drivers. Gasly had his chance in 2019 before being sent back to AlphaTauri, and it's widely assumed that in the paddock, the RBR boss Christian Horner does not see the 26-year-old returning to the senior squad in the future. Given that scenario, Red Bull may be willing to let Gasly go if the terms of any deal were favorable and there was momentum behind another candidate for the AlphaTauri seat that his departure would leave vacant. According to some sources, Helmut Marko is considering Mick Schumacher, who is likely to be dropped by Haas. A move to AlphaTauri would also mean that Red Bull would have a high-profile German in its ranks ahead of Porsche's arrival on the grid in 2026. However, there have been reports that Marko is interested in Andretti Autosport's IndyCar frontrunner Colton Herta, who has a contract with McLaren. Remarkably, the Red Bull Motorsport boss was seen conversing with McLaren CEO Zak Brown on Saturday afternoon at Spa. One obvious issue is that Herta does not currently hold a super license that would allow him to race in Formula 1 in 2023. However, if the FIA grants an exception and McLaren releases Herta, Gasly will be free to move up to Alpine, relieving McLaren of some of the pressure surrounding the Oscar Piastri situation. Even if Herta is unable to race in 2023 and Gasly remains at AlphaTauri, the American could still join the Red Bull camp as a testing driver with the possibility of graduating in the future. One complication in any Alpine deal is that Gasly is known to have a strained relationship with his potential teammate, countryman Esteban Ocon. Ocon and Gasly were born in the same year and in the same region of France. Their junior careers were inevitably intertwined, and they saw a lot of each other in karting championships. It's not surprising that they kept in touch as they grew up. Although Ocon hasn't said much about it, Gasly revealed a lot during his appearance on F1's Beyond the Grid podcast. Surprisingly, the two countrymen's relationship was not always so dreadful. They began their karting careers with the same engine manufacturers, which aided their on-track friendship, but Gasly admitted that the competition between them eventually became too fierce for them to remain friends. "I started to beat him and he didn't like it, so we're not friends anymore. We've done so many things together with Esteban. When we were like 9, 10 years old, we used to go testing and karting when it was snowing, do 5 laps and come in because it was too cold, go out on the track together, trying to get warm, and then go back on track for 3 or 4 more laps. We spent a lot of time together, but it got to a point where he got a bit too upset and it wasn't so nice anymore. So we kinda stopped socializing. Then after, we always had quite a lot of rivalry, but I think we respect each other as drivers." The prospect of them working together at a French-owned team has naturally piqued the interest of fans and F1 insiders, especially due to the rivalry dating back to their childhood karting days. It's widely assumed that they'd never accept each other as teammates, but Ocon insists on the contrary and is surprisingly open to the idea. "It's going well. We have respect for each other. I think that's the important thing." Earlier in the weekend, Ocon stated that he would be willing to accept any driver as a teammate in 2023, though he stated that his personal preference is to drive alongside his friend, Mick Schumacher. "I mean, it doesn't matter in the end who's next to me. I will keep the job that I am doing now with my team, keeping understanding the car and the process that we've made since I joined the team in 2020. It's been huge. And of course, I'm a very different driver to what I've been. I know a lot more now of the team, of the car, and how to use the machine I've got in hands. I'm happy with where that's going. Again, whoever will be on my side next year, I will keep doing the job I'm doing, and as long as I am happy with the performance and how that's going, then there's no need for me to change or worry about the other side. It's not my decision, but yeah, I would be very happy to work with Mick. He's a good friend of mine. So again, the team, it's for them to decide, not for me. But yeah, if that ended up like this, is going to be for sure a great ride. Meanwhile, Gasly downplayed the suggestion that he might end up at Alpine in 2023. "Well, I don't really have anything to comment for now," he said after qualifying at Spa. "You know, I'm focused on doing the best job I can. I've got a contract, and from everything that I know and everybody knows, I've announced that I will be driving for AlphaTauri next year." Gasly made it clear that he's under contract with AlphaTauri until the end of 2023 after signing a new deal earlier this season, but he could well be driving elsewhere next season. Indeed, when he agreed to stay with his current team for a little longer, it did look as though his options were pretty limited. Red Bull didn't have a seat, Daniel Ricciardo was still under contract with McLaren until the end of the next year, Fernando Alonso hadn't announced his departure from Alpine, and Sebastian Vettel hadn't announced his retirement. Things move quickly in F1, however, and the driver market is now in full swing, with a number of changes taking place and plenty more being touted. And it is safe to assume that if given the opportunity to drive for Alpine, the Frenchman would seriously consider it. To be honest, he doesn't have a future with Red Bull or AlphaTauri. Much like Carlos Sainz did in 2017, Gasly's best move would be to release himself from his duties at RBR and finally make a name for himself independent of the energy drinks company. And former Red Bull-backed driver Jean-Eric Vergne agrees with this sentiment, stating that it's the best option for the Frenchman. "I really like Pierre, and I know him quite well. I think what he has shown over the past 2 years has been nothing but impressive, and there is no room for him at Red Bull. He has to move away at some point and start using his own wings to fly. I think Alpine could be the right team for him." In relation to the childhood rivalry between Gasly and Ocon, Vergne emphasizes another point: teammates don't have to be friends. "I'm not sure he is best friends with Esteban Ocon, but that's okay. At the end of the day, you are a professional driver. You are paid by a team. You represent the brand, and at the end of the day, you are racing for yourself. I'm pretty sure the team can handle 2 French drivers, even if apparently they don't like each other so much, but water under the bridge. A lot of things happen. You race for a team, but you also race for yourself, and I'm sure they understand that, and it is what it is. They can make the best out of it." What are your thoughts on Pierre Gasly moving to Alpine, given that he still has a contract with AlphaTauri? Do you think the schism between the two teammates would be unpalatable for the all-French squad if he got that seat? And do you agree with Jean-Eric Vergne's assessment that Gasly should try and break free from Red Bull? Let us know in the comments section down below. And if you enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing. It helps us out a lot.